In open form. Okay? So now we had major chords before. Now you can see all we did is switch the major chords to minor chords, was affect the third and adjust that so we have really 5 shapes of major and 5 of minor of bar chords. And that's really important to have these shapes because not only do they work great for a lot of rhythm guitar situations, but they're key also to understanding the layout of the fingerboard when it comes time to see scales and arpeggios and other types of chords besides just the major and minor chords, more sophisticated chords. Okay, so let's just review each shape and make it major and then minor just so you at home can practice. So remember we started off with D major, okay, and we made it D minor by taking the third down, and now we have D minor. Okay, we had D major here, pattern 2, and we made it minor by making it minor here. We have pattern 2, D minor. We had D major here, pattern 3. Okay, and when we modified it to minor, we had to fix it a little bit to make it like this. To make it minor, pattern 4 major was about like this, and pattern 4 minor, we ended up dropping out the second finger and we bar to create the minor third there. On this form, we have a major chord, pattern 5, way up here, and just to flip a few fingers around, we can make it minor, okay? So those are the 5 chords that represent major and minor, and we're going to use them now in a progression. Okay, here we are now, looking at our progression that we're going to utilize for practice for the bar chords that we just covered and reviewed. Okay, so you can see above here, I've not only written the chords out of the progression, but I've got some rhythm information as well. And I wrote that just because I thought you might want to also practice your rhythm reading that we've covered as well. So basically, when you see this kind of information right here, this is just simply saying play eighth notes. This represents eighth note hash marks, which means it's going to sound like this. If the quarter note were right here, the beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? And if I have them separated like this, they're still eighth notes. The only reason I did that is because I was going to have a space on the downbeat of 3 where I didn't want you to play. So that would maybe sound like this then. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Notice I didn't play on 3 there. That's the rest. That's an eighth note rest. Okay? So it's a simple rhythm that makes the progression a little bit more interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at the chord forms that we're going to use. And you'll probably notice that with the 5 shapes that you've learned already in major and minor that I've referred to, there's a number of places that you could play the chords, right? There's not one way to play this progression where it's more correct than another. There's just options, okay? You could, for example, play the B major right here. You could also play it right here. You could play it right here, right? You could play it right up here if you wanted to, right? None of them are wrong. It's just a matter of what you prefer. I kind of like the sound of the lower B down here because there's a little bit more bottom end to it. So I probably would start the B chord down here. I wouldn't probably start it here. It's too high and there's not enough low end. So we'll start it here, and then from that point, you could practice maybe using your pattern 1 D shape and then go to that one. Okay? If you want to take that up a whole step, just play it again now in E, and then you could play the G chord here. So then it would look like this. Okay, that sounds pretty good. If you wanted to try it another way, you could start with the pattern 4 shape right here, pattern 4 of the B chord right here, and then you could practice using that one. So then you would go pattern 4 maybe, pattern 2D, and then move that up to the E form, and then maybe use pattern 1G. Right, so you'd have. Still the same chords, it's just a different arrangement of the voicings. Okay, and just subtly different in sound. Okay, both perfectly acceptable. Okay, so we do this. I didn't write this down, but let's make a note of this. Let's play this part 4 times. Okay, and then we're going to go to the next section where I wanted to incorporate some minor chords. And you'll see now I've written E minor, D major, C major, B minor, A minor, G major, and then D to E again. So essentially I've changed keys on you there. We started off in kind of a B sound or B key, B minor, B major, and I've definitely gone to G major or E minor on that other progression. But that's what makes it sound kind of interesting. It modulates for a second. So let's review what we could play here. We could start off in a pattern 2 E minor, keep that going down to a pattern 2 D major. Maybe you could find your C chord right here in pattern 3 to get that going, and then move that into pattern 4 for B minor, and then keep that in pattern 4 for the A minor. Also for G major, keep that right there, and then maybe use pattern 1 for D and E. Okay, so that would maybe then sound like this. Okay, what I'm trying to show you there by writing the D just a little ahead, I'm trying to line it up over the D, over the and of 2. I want you to anticipate the D chord, so it would be like this, really. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4. Okay, so we have 2 different contrasting sections now with little changes in the rhythm. Okay, so why don't we try that at home now, and let's kind of play along with my loop station here like I like to do, and give you a chance to play the rhythm at home. Let's play it. Actually, before I hit the loop station, let's do it one time slowly together, and then I'll add that in a minute. Okay, so here we go. 3, 4. Okay, so that's basically what it's going to sound like. Let's add some bass and drums now. Okay, let's bring in the band now, shall we? It was cool without the band, but now that we've practiced it, we're going to be good with playing along with the band. So here we go, check it out. Rock and roll. 3, 4. Wasn't that fun? Just a simple chord progression utilizing our major and our major and minor triads, but just because it has a little bit of contrast between two sections, it just sounds great. Sounds like music. There's a little bit of rhythm in there, and it's fun to play along with. All right, so make sure you practice that for your bar chords. I also suggest finding other progressions on your own to practice to, transcribing, studying some songs off the radio that you like, or maybe getting a songbook that has a lot of songs in it of these kind of chords that you can also drill and work out on. Okay, so I hope you've learned a lot from that, and practice that at home, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, see you later.